provide a welcome to all of our committee members, alternates, presenters. Welcome to the July 2023 Green Line Extension DBE and Workforce Advisory Committee, and I will call this meeting to order. Our normal housekeeping agenda items, please mute yourself if you're not speaking. If you're having technical issues, let us know in the chat and we'll try to resolve them. Please close all other teleconference applications. And this meeting is being recorded and streamed live by the Met Council. Meeting handouts and presentations are posted on the project website at swlrt.org. And if Tyler has not joined us, I will just ask William, can you just, based on the attendees or participants list, either screenshot that, and if there's any numbers or names that you don't recognize, can you call those out?
Sounds good. Let me take a moment quickly to review the list. I believe I don't, James McCover, apologize for the mispronunciation of the last name.
Makoviak.
Makoviak, okay. And this VP Flip SSG.
Flipson, Steve Flipson.
Okay. I think those were the only two who I'm seeing in the list that doesn't look weren't on the list for the list that I looked at.
And
Flipson.
Can you tell everybody who you're with?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Steve Flipson. I'm the construction manager at Southwest LRT. I'm filling in for Nick Dial today.
Yes. Okay, I did get that note. So
Nick has a conflict this afternoon, so I'm gonna try to pitch hit for him. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, the pressure is on.
It is.
All right, and Ashanti, this is James Makoviak, and I'm pitch hitting for David Davies, who's out today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. The minutes were included in the meeting handouts for review. If there are any edits, please let us know. All right. I think, James, you are up. We can move into the Green Line Extension project update.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to share these slides with you. We've got 24 slides. We're going to go from west to east. We're starting here at the terminus at Southwest Station. On the right-hand side, you can see the new parking ramp. On the left-hand side off screen is Technology Drive. I guess I say we're looking west, and this is a field of piles. These are the last remaining piles down here in the southwest corridor in the Southwest Station. And this will eventually be the low platform station transfer station here, which will also support the new drop-off area. So people will come from the left from Technology Drive, and they will go underneath the parking garage to drop people off, and it'll be some really nice landscaping when it's all complete. Continuing to move east, this is the last stop, last of 4 stations in Eden Prairie. This is our City West station. And here you can see this very large plaza just off the station. In the distance behind that wall, you have Highway 62. So we're kind of looking kind of northwest here. And as we go under the Highway 62 tunnel, then we come out into Opus Park, and we immediately find ourselves at Opus Station. We can see some recently completed trails and sidewalks around the station. In the right-hand side here, you can see some new development. We've got 1,500 to 2,000 new units being built within a half mile of our station. In the far distance on the left, you could see the very large Optum campus on the south side of Highway 62. And then pulling out from the station, you can see the station here. I don't think you can see my arrow, but there's a station right in the middle in the distance. So we've kind of gone northeast here. You can see on the right, we've got some additional trails, some of the development on the right that I pointed to earlier. And you can see the tracks are advanced. We've got catenary poles up. There's quite a bit done by the end of the year in the east. About 98% of this work will be complete, in the west rather. Corridor, about 98%, 95, 98% of the work will be completed. So it's quite advanced on that side of the corridor. And then as we continue to move east, we leave Opus Park, and then we cross the longest bridge in the corridor, Minnetonka-Hopkins Bridge, and we end up in Hopkins around KTEL 5th, which is a little south of Excelsior Drive. And right here, you kind of see the center of the KTEL 5th extension. And then we're going to extend 17th Avenue from Excelsior Drive, which is north on the right-hand side of the photograph. We're looking west again. And this is kind of the junction of that extension on 17th Avenue and reconfiguring 5th and KTEL connection. And then as we continuing east as well, we have our Louisiana Avenue Bridge. You can see here is the LRT bridge. The tracks haven't quite gotten this far. You can see it's not as advanced as the earlier photos of the Opus Park and what you'll see in the west. But eventually we'll have tracks here. And on the right-hand side, we've got our freight rail bridge. And then to the north of that, we have our PED bridge. Again, continuing on, Wooddale Avenue, we recently completed intersection here off of Wooddale Avenue. You can see our Wooddale Station. Again, looking east here, we've got our track tubs in at Gray for an at-grade crossing. In the distance on the left, you could see the fairly new Via Sol development. All right, continuing on. As we start heading toward the Kenilworth corridor, we've got our West Lake Street Station. That bridge you see is the, for those familiar with the Lake Street Bridge. And this is a vertical circulation. You can see the steel frame being erected, and we'll have a circulator on both this side, the west side, and also on the east side. This is one of, there's two here, two circulators here. We've got another one we'll show you in Bryn Mawr and another one in Bassett Creek, vertical circulators that take people up to the highways and additional connections. And as we go under that bridge, of course, we enter the Kenilworth corridor. And this photo on the left, you are looking east back toward that bridge. And you can see some of the earlier stage of tunnel construction where they've got the framework in. We've got, supportive excavation on both sides, and they're going to begin tunneling. And you can see some of that tunneling already going on to get down to the base level. And as we continue east now, from that point, you could see some of the more advanced construction. You could see some of the complicated structures and some of the sophisticated methodological techniques used here. And you can see both tunnels on the right and the left as we're looking east. Again, close up. This is on the other end of the tunnel, the eastern side of the tunnel. You can see it's a little bit more advanced than the first slide where you saw the initial excavation just beginning there. This is the excavation continuing on a little deeper, but not quite as advanced as the last slide where you see some of the tunnel actually constructed. And then moving on to the Cedar Lake Channel. Cedar Lake Channel, again, we have three bridges. This is the trail bridge. We also have the LRT bridge and the freight rail bridge. We expect that the area will be open somewhere near the end of September, Steve, if I'm correct. And then underneath here, we've got our WPA wall, we call it, which is an historical wall that runs on both sides of the channel that is also nearing its completion as well. So the channel should be open relatively soon. And then continuing on along the corridor, you've got our Bryn Mawr station, and this was a very large pedestrian bridge installation. We're kind of looking from the south of 394 here, looking somewhat south. And you can see our abutment, and then we installed both sides of that ped bridge, and people will be able to walk from just south of 394 there on Bryn Mawr exit in order to get to the station. And there also is a vertical circulator at the other end of that leading people to the station. Continuing on, this is our Bassett Creek Valley Station. Again, another vertical circulator. You can see the station in the distance under the bridge on the left. And then if you look really carefully down on the right-hand corner, you can see our corridor protection wall, that mile-long bridge that we installed separating us from the freight rail. All right, Glenwood Avenue Bridge. That's a very complex project where the LRT bridge will cross the pathway of the grade level crossing of the new Glenwood Avenue Bridge. And I think that's also anticipated to reopen in the next few months as well. So that Glenwood Avenue Bridge will be opening this year. And then the final station before Target Station, our Royalston Avenue Farmers Market Station. And you can see this is one of two dual track stations where we have, track access or station access to the platform access to the train from either side. So you have to cross from one side to the other. If you want to change directions, we have obviously the dual track here, and then down at Southwest Station at the other end is the other dual track station. And all those in between are usually tracks on one track. Single track you can get on either side of the platform. And I think that kind of winds up our the civil portion of this presentation. We'll move on to the systems contract. Civil systems work began really in earnest earlier this year. And the systems components are the catenary poles that you see there. And then, of course, you've got the cross arms. And then eventually they'll be pulling wire. I'll show you some photos, too, of the large traction power substations. I think we have around 19 of them, and they're placed strategically along the 14.5 miles in order to power the system. So this is Southwest Station. You can see some of the special equipment that they had that rides along the rails, and it's obviously far less impact on the public than civil construction since it's situated and stays pretty much on the alignment. You can see here this is the first portion of the system that we've actually begun hanging wiring. And again, some of the interesting high rail vehicles, they're outfitted specially to roll on the tracks. Again, you see some more wire being run, the OCS poles, and then the OCS wires being run, and they're starting at Southwest Station, and then they'll continue east. Then we have the Town Center Station, which is the second station. If you know Eden Prairie by the large water tower there. The iconic water tower. It's a wayside signal equipment installation of what we call track circuit impedance bonds. And these bonds are essentially in place. And this is part of the system that helps the operating system downtown, headquarters downtown, track all the trains. So they'll be able to know where all the trains are at all times. And particularly if anything were to happen where there would be a short of some kind. And I mentioned the traction power substations earlier, again, 19 of those. This is what we call TPS 305. This is in Eden Prairie under our our Highway 212 bridge. And you can see the foundation. That's the first phase of TPS construction, and they're going to backfill all of that. And then eventually we'll put the TPS on top. This is the framing for another TPS foundation. This is off of Feltel Road, just as you exit the north side of Opus Park, just south of Smetana Drive, if you know the area. And then, of course, we have our duct bank installation. We've got to get all the electrification, got to take the wiring, have to move that through the foundation so that it's situated so when they load, these, 80-ton TPSS stations on top of these, that they're then go through the next phase of connecting, all the wiring, all the electrical, going from AC to DC into the system. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Ashanti, back to you.
Thanks. Any questions for James? I have one question. I saw there was the Lake Street station. What's the proximity of that Lake Street station with the Blue Line Lake Street station?
It's quite a ways away. Yeah,
Okay.
this is down in between Bede-Makaska and Cedar Lake. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Any other, excuse me, any other questions? All right. We can move on to consent business. Earlier in the week, I know John sent out the DBE workforce reports. And they're also available on the committee page. Are there any questions relative to the DBE reports?
Do you mean not the one on the thing, but the individual one?
Yeah, the kind of the main, I'm just going to call it not very detailed, the overview kind of report, this one.
Oh, okay. Nope.
All right. I will turn it over to Tyler.
Hey folks, sorry about my late entry, but good to see a lot of you, or at least see names of a lot of you. We'll move on to workforce side of things. Are there any questions right out the gate regarding the workforce reports? Okay, if not, we can move then into the joint venture project updates. So Krista Seberg from LOJV will start with the civil construction updates. Go ahead, Krista.
Wonderful. Thanks, Tyler. So if we could go to the next slide, please. And I guess the next slide, please. Sorry. And let's keep going. And another one. And yep, non-consent now. Here we go. Civil. Thank you. Next slide. Just to let you guys know, for the month of June, the DBEs we had on site working on the project, as you can see, we have a great group of them, quite a few. Blackstone, E&J Rebar, Econ Placer, Gunnar Electric. You guys can read the list. Any questions about the contractors we have on site working with us right now? If not, I'm going to let you guys know. I know Barb had a couple questions actually on the more detailed report. Her and I had a discussion yesterday about 3 of the contractors that had red numbers, and I just wanted to give you guys an update. Amtech, it is a reporting error on our end that just needs to be updated. It has been, we have paid 198. I have the information here, and that's going to be updated. So by next meeting, you will see that update. And with Blackstone, I'm already on to the next name. Blackstone and Boys, they are actively working on our project right now in many aspects. So their numbers are not up to date. You know, they're continual. So you will see that number change, Barb.
So that they didn't get a change order to deduct that much work from their contract.
Correct.
Okay, so that probably shouldn't show up like that.
Yeah, and
So
I will
report
I
them.
will work with the council on that, and also Luke, our project controls representative, and I will be meeting each month before the DWAC meeting. So it'll be nice to have that information.
Okay, so just as a clarifying point, that column is supposed to be reserved for anything that is a new add-on to their contract or if their contract has been deducted. So just to clarify that report a little bit more about where that got messed up.
Yep, I understand, and I will work with the council on getting that on their side fixed, as well as there's still some contractors you're going to see that show up red, that we should have some sort of noting in that report Dion, was removed from the project. Big G was, as we all know, sorry to say, was replaced by somebody else. So their numbers have been, continued forward with somebody else. They're not a negative. And there was one other one that I had. Oh, I know. Chippewa. Due to a change order way at the beginning of the project, the product changed to
I'm sorry to
something
interrupt you, Krista, but can we advance to the slide so that so that the other committee members can see kind of what get the
Sure, but it's
context?
not in a slide.
Oh,
It
it's
was
not
a
in the slide.
handout.
Okay, never mind.
Stop
Sorry.
doing those. Yeah, sorry, Ashante. I should have said that. I just wanted to give you guys updates with your handout. I should have referred to that when I started speaking about it. So in the handout that John Tao emailed out earlier that had the DBE update, the workforce update, and the agenda, that is the handout I am referring to.
It's the progress report,
Yep.
Ashanti?
Yep, I just wanted to make sure that committee members knew, kind of to add some context to that conversation, if they wanted to review kind of what was going on, they know where to look. I thought it was in a slide, but that's fine. That it's in the progress report in your handout.
Yeah, that's all I had. That's the updates
So
right
Krista,
there. Yeah.
because Ashante was coming in at that point. So the Chippewa was a change in spec of the product, and that's why they got the deduct.
Yeah, and that should have been removed quite a long time ago.
So I know on the one trucking firm, we have just a line through it on the left hand, through their name, so that we kind of know, okay, we've discussed this, we're moving on, there's no new changes. Maybe that's what we could do with those. The Big
Sure.
G and Chippewa
Yeah.
on some of those.
Yep. John, you making note of that?
Yep, I will cross those out if that helps convey.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. If you want to go to the next slide, William, or whoever, I forget who's doing the switching of slides, sorry. So we do have some stuff moving forward that we're going to be working on. And I did discuss a little bit of it last month. We are going to be doing a DBE roundtable with a group of our DBEs talking about lessons learned. With this project, there are going to be some of the people from this meeting invited to participate, but then we will be reporting to the council what our findings are from the roundtable. We also are in the process of creating closeout meetings for all of our subcontractors, but also focused on our DBEs, with the entire process for them. And then the DBE review meetings with the council, like we do with the workforce meetings with the Department of Human Rights. So those are our big things moving forward with our DBEs. Any questions about any of that? If not, let's go to the next. And John, I did not remove April. I apologize to anybody who cannot read this or zoom in, because I know there's a lot of information on here. But this is a report per trade that shows what we were the previous and what we are for the most recent month reporting. You can see with some of our trades, we are exceeding the POCI participation. Cement masons, carpenters, cement masons, and carpenters, they have higher numbers. We have the painters and the laborers, those ones right there are above the percentage and stuff, and it's the busy month, so it's great to see this. So I just wanted everybody to be able to have this information. Next month, I will be showing some graphs of project to date participation across the board. Any questions on this slide? If not, we will move forward. Here is our in and out report. We see there were some transfers in. Oop, look at that letter, there's a typo. As well as some new hires. and then a few transfer outs as well as voluntary leaves. So there's that. Next slide, please. And the looking forward actions for workforce is we have mock interviews coming up with Goodwill Easter Seals next Friday. Minnesota Trades Academy has their summer students going to the Junior Achievement for Career Day on August 7th. We have, I think, 6 different people from the light rail, the civil project. I know also systems, but from both the LMJV as well as our subcontractors participating in that day as volunteers helping with the students and also doing mock interviews. And the final thing that I have for you guys for new upcoming actions are the Rosies and Robbies of the Rail Roundtable. Our next one is scheduled for the afternoon of August 16th. I will be having the flyer sent out through our group here for those to be able to register and attend. And that is it for the civil updates, unless there are questions.
I'm sorry. I have a kind of a question, and definitely appreciate those look forward actions. And I know, Krista, you and I have had some conversations, and through those conversations, you've expressed, that the desire to maximize whatever we can relative to workforce with these years that we have left on Green Line. So I want to just give you the opportunity, besides some of those looking forward actions, are there anything relative to the effort and desire to maximize the opportunity that we have left on this project? Any asks or support that you need from members, from either us as government, the trades, community-based organizations, advocacy groups? Are there any asks or calls to action that you would like to put on the table now for some of our members that are here?
Shanta, you would think I would have planted that. Thank you so much. Of course, the asks, you guys, we do meet, and most of you know that I meet with our subcontractors on a monthly basis, and we will be doing this throughout the rest, the remaining couple of years on this project. What I really want to provide at those meetings, besides, I review with the contractors, the numbers and their actions and stuff. But we've really been making a great effort moving forward with providing education pieces for them and resources for those subcontractors, that don't necessarily have them at the fingertips like I do with working with you guys. I would love to have to share my calendar with you guys and to fill up those meeting spaces. It could be government, conversations about Tyler. I'd love for you to get in front of the group with Elaine and really talk to them about the things we've talked about. When it comes to good faith efforts and making that honest good faith effort and what they look like, I would love to have Julie come back again, or other CBOs, Goodwill Easter Seals and such, and give our contractors, that more face-to-face chance to really get to know what they can provide, what our community organizations and associations can provide. So that would be one of them that comes to mind right away, Ashante. The unions, what's great, the thing moving forward to you guys, the unions are always giving me the information of their upcoming events and flyers, which I then share with our contractors. I would love to have me be there, all of us. If there are events coming up that can really help benefit our subcontractors by either volunteering at, or coming and meeting people, being attendees, whatever, please give me that information so that we can share this mass resource, of pulling people together during these last 2 years. That's what I truly see as the biggest need and ask would be really educating our subcontractors of what's out there and continuing to connect them with those resources.
Hey, Krista, this is Julie. I'm so glad you mentioned this because we recently had a conversation about, especially when it comes to seasonal layoffs, it would be really wonderful for the CBOs that do dislocated worker services to potentially come and share what kinds of services are available to people as they have been laid off through no fault of their own, because there are quite a few different services that are available. And I know our team would love to go out and share with people the kind of personal job coaching, the training and certification, the support services to help pay mortgage, or car payments, or food security, or or rent, whatever. Those are all free resources to people who qualify for them.
Sure.
And so, Sheila, I don't want to talk for you, but I think that would be really wonderful.
Julie, that is so cool because it brings in the next piece too, because the people at our subcontractor meetings are typically the EEO HR representatives, or depending on the size of it could be the project manager, project engineer. One of the conversations I have had with my core quote unquote mentor team, which consists of Norma Miller, from Urban League with Twin Cities, Rick Mardigan from Building Strong Communities, and then our LMJV internal team. We did this last year when we did the winter layoffs. It's so important to really connect with those people that are going through, especially first time layoffs, that don't know the process, and you would not believe what they don't know. So it's creating maybe that day, this fall where not only do we already talk to the subcontractors like you were talking about, I think that's huge, but also having a day where we have all the resources together, almost like a, hey, get ready for seasonal info day, where we have you guys and the different entities there to be able to talk to the individuals. I think that would be super. The other thing I've always wanted to create, and this has been about 10 years now, you guys, is a refrigerator resource for seasonal layoff. Oh my gosh, that's right. This week I'm supposed to call somebody. What was it again? Here's the steps. Here's the things that you could, the easily forgotten about things until all of a sudden it's right there.
So kind of like a checklist for the refrigerator. Is that what you mean? I was like thinking refrigerator. I'm so bad.
So anyways, Julie, I would love to continue this forward with you, and let's do it. Let's create something.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I know that Goodwill has a program too that specifically serves this population. So
yeah, and I agree with Julie. I think there's multiple dislocated worker providers, so there's a lot of people that could be helping with this.
Yeah,
love it,
and would love to be at the table to help and have the resources to do it.
Yeah,
great.
Definitely. So Krista, as a next step, let's just say when you think it's ready to get that group together to start planning, because you just know the calendar better, just give us a shout and we'll come together and put a plan together.
So Sheila and Julie, I'd love to do it, and we'll do it sooner than later, because as we all know, with so many things in life, it's so easy to say, oh yeah, we'll do it, and then it doesn't happen, and I'm probably the queen of it. So I look forward to getting it scheduled sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah, and it won't be long before the season's done. So
Exactly.
it's going to be here soon. So yeah, that's the other thing.
Thank you.
Thanks for reminding us of that, Sheila.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take
Oh.
advantage of it while you can.
Exactly. Thank you, girl. Thank very, very much. I will be reaching out to you guys. All right. That's all I've got, you guys, for now.
Thanks, Krista.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions for Krista, then I'll hand it over to Mike Tony.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay. This is the old slide, but participated in mock interviews. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. participate in the mock interviews at Summit Academy on June 30th. We're also presenting at the Junior Achievements on August 7th. We have Stonebrook Friends. That is, they're fully executed now. Will be joining the project, along with Castrogen. We got a work order, new subcontract routing for Castrogen for about another $91,000. So they're going to be coming on board as well. Elite Fiber should begin in blowing fiber through the duct bank on the tracks sometime come late July, August, maybe. Still have not seen them on the job yet. That's kind of what's going on. And then the next slide. So as far as this is our, as far as our workforce breakdown, that they are what they are. The POCI is increasing a little bit. The women, their hours might only be 7%, but they're running about 14% of the hours. So there's 4 women working steady on this project, which is good to see. So that is what it is. I mean, we had about 4,500 hours, I think, during the month of May, and we'll continue to track this. And then the next slide. The 2 DBE subcontractors that we had working in May that reported to LCP Tracker were Gunner Electric and Safety Science. And I think that's it.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions for Mike or APJV?
I guess I can pose a similar question. As the systems work is kind of gearing up and in earnest. Is there any asks or support from committee members that you would like to put out there in terms of things you have in action?
If there's any groups that you're aware of that would like to take a tour of any of our facilities, we'll be happy to take them out on their tours and, do a job shadowing for a couple hours to see what we're doing as far as the traction power, the systems portions of the contract. I don't know if we can bring you into the warehouse, but there's definitely some job, some tours that we would be willing to conduct. Have any programs want to get involved in that and help talk about getting careers into the trades, we'll be glad to participate in that way.
Anything else for Mike? Julie says, thanks, Mike. Just connected again with our youth team to check on our tour interest. Thanks for the reminder. Awesome. Thanks, Julie. Okay. Go ahead, Ashante.
About to say the same thing as you, Tyler. We've just opened the floor for committee discussion. It's an opportunity for committee members that wish to discuss concerns, raise questions, talk about some of the activities that they are either supporting, participating, initiating, that are relative or could be relative to this work and the work that we're doing here for this project. All right. Hearing none. Announcements.
have a really cool announcement.
Let's go.
Last time we were here was right before my golf event. And I just wanted to share with everybody, thanks to a $12,500 match from the Builders Group, we were able to award $29,500 in scholarships to 11 females that are going into construction. Of those, only 3 of them were like construction manager, architecture type. The rest were apprentices and trades women. So we had carpentry, a millwright, we had somebody working at Lunda, one of the laborers, and an electrician. And then in our trade school, we have a residential builder, a plumber, a heavy equipment operator, and a carpenter. So that was really huge. AWC is really working at trying to get women into the trades and women into construction careers. So thanks for your patience with me on those right before golf times that we seem to hit this meeting on.
It was a great event, Barb. Very professionally done and so great for networking. And it was so fun to watch the scholarship recipients and how excited and how interactive they were this year with everybody. You know, some years it's hard to, you know, because of everybody's different personalities, but boy, this group this year were so excited to be there, and you definitely knew that they were very happy and grateful. And just a quick correction, our girl from Lunda is not a laborer, she's a heavy equipment operator. She's in her 2nd year, and guess what, everybody? 2nd year, and she's already getting crane experience, which from that side of construction, that's a tough one. And she is just seriously a great leader. So thanks, Barb.
I have couple announcements that are just small business related. If anyone has paid attention to the legislative session, there were some items that we feel are positive to participation of small businesses on our projects. So one of which is the threshold for well, what we call at the council MCUB Direct. So it's where you can directly contract with MCUB businesses. MCUB is the council's Metropolitan Council Underutilized Business Program. State agencies have their own version, either TGB, VET, and other small business programs. That threshold was raised from 25,000 to 100,000. So gives us some more flexibility and room to directly contract with certified small businesses in a direct manner. Also, the bid preference for MCUB, again, for the council is MCUB, for other agencies it's probably TGB VET, was raised from 6% to 12%. And then the other consideration that's being considered is what we call our MCUB Select, where there has to be at least, it's a sheltered market program where there has to be at least 3 MCUB businesses that are likely to bid. You can shelter the market for that procurement and open it up to or restrict it to certified small business opportunity. So those are kind of some of the things that we are looking to make some updates and changes at the council. I'm sure other public state agencies are looking to do the same.
I have something. You all might have received this already, but I wanted to share it. Where do I click to share? This is from the apprenticeship program at Dolly. Okay. Yep, I see it. Hold on. It is not clicking. Okay. No, hold on. Let me try this again. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, well, I'll just tell you about it. And if anyone's interested, please let me know in the chat and I will email it to you. There's a request for proposals for labor education advancement program LEAP grants for 2024. The deadline for them is August 8th, and these are specifically targeted to increase the participation of women and traditionally underrepresented groups such as people of color in the apprenticeship programs. So this would be a really good opportunity for the community-based organizations.
Yeah, Elaine, this
So-
is Julie. If you could send it my way, I'd love to take a look.
I will forward that to you. If anyone else is interested, I'll be happy to send that to you also.
This is Sheila, Elaine. The other nice thing with LEAP this year is their funds, because of everything happening at the legislative session. They went from only having $100 in funding to 100,000. So no, they went from 100,000, I'm sorry, to 1 million. So
Yes,
they now
that's the
have
other
more
thing I was
funding.
gonna
That's going to
say.
say that's a big difference. So it's a nice difference for them to be able to do some more good.
Exactly. The grants have been increased substantially. They're up to $1 million. So I think that this is a really good opportunity for the CBAs to apply for that. So I will forward that to you, Julie. And Sheila, if you want that also, you may have already received it.
Yep, we have it. Thank you, because we have a LEAP grant. So we appreciate it, though. Thanks for
Okay.
sharing, Elaine.
Yeah, thanks,
No
Elaine.
problem. No one's talking.
We're intentionally introducing that awkward silence just as necessary. No, I will turn it over to Tyler.
Okay. We're at the portion of our agenda for public invitation. So, John, do we anyone on the docket
No.
for that?
Nobody has sent an email or requested to make public comments.
All right. Well, then, Ashante, I will kick it back to you to bring her home.
All right. I think this might be at least from my standpoint of returning from a 2-week vacation, well-deserved record in terms of this meeting. So our next meeting date will be August 17th, 2023, held virtually. Our next in-person meeting will be September. But this brings the July meeting to a close. And again, as we said, it's streamed live on YouTube and on the Metropolitan Council's website. Please stay connected via our construction updates, social media, and through the project website. And you can also connect with me or project staff. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second,
Sheila,
Barb
I'll
Wow.
second.
Awesome. This meeting is adjourned. Take care, everybody, and have a good rest of your afternoon.
You too. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.